Shalom Yashrala Shalom. Kala Layimla, Alahayanawa, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach well and rule well, who taught me this truth. Peace and salutation to the Akim, the fellow laborers, the hopeful elect, pushing this truth at risk of their own lives through the four corners of the earth. And to the Aquath listening, and learning. Shalom. It's your brother Shimon from the Pillars of Benjamin Camp here in Toronto with another lesson. And as you can see here, this came out yesterday, July 28th, 2022. The year of Yahweh Bashim Ashai turning up, right? And this news is out, right? The leader of North Korea made a statement, right? Kim Jong-un, and he said that North Korea says nuclear weapons are ready to mobilize in warning to the West, right? And he issued it primarily to America, right? Things are definitely heating up, right? Jousting of words, right? Different nations are aligning, right? BRICS nations, right? Some NATO nations are jumping ship, right? Things are starting to form. But I wanted to open with the scripture. Then we'll watch this quick video clip, and then Lord willing, we'll close out with another scripture. Jeremiah 51, verse 7. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, right? America hath been a golden cup, the Most High set you up to be the one that's getting it, to be at the top, right? That made all the earth drunken, right? Drunken with what? Their wine, America's wine. And what is their wine? Their philosophy, their government structure. The nations have drunken of her wine, right? All these other nations have had to drink of America's philosophy, man. Western philosophy, right? Therefore, the nations are mad, right? These other nations are mad. They don't want it no more. They're tired drinking it, right? They don't want to drink it no more. Let's watch this video.
지금 우리 무장력은 그 어떤 위기에도 대응할 철저한 준비가 되어 있으며 우리 국가의 핵전쟁 억제력 또한 절대적인 자기 힘을 자기 사명에 충실히 정확히 신속히 동원할 만전태세에 있습니다. 노병 동지들이 남조선은 이 시각도 우리 무력의 일상적인 모든 행동들을 도발로 위협으로 오도하고 있는 이국이 우리 국가의 안전을 엄중히 위협하는 대규모 합동군사 연습들을 뻗어시 벌려놓고 있는 이중적 행태는 말 그대로 강도적인 것이며 이는 조미 관계를 더 이상 되돌리기 힘든 한계점으로 격돌 상태로 몰아가고 있습니다. 조선민주주의인민공화국은 미국과의 그 어떤 군사적 충돌에도 대처할 철저한 준비가 되어 있다는 것을 다시금 확언합니다. 했던 사람들이 영약 군대에 단원하여 미제국주의 침략 군대 우리 군사력의 일부분을 무력화시키거나 마술 수 있다고 생각한다면 천만에 그러한 위험한 시도는 즉시 강력한 힘에 의해 응징될 것이며 윤석열 정권과 그의 군대는 전면도할 것입니다.
많은 초저공 비행과 불줄기를 뿜으며 솟구치는 수직급 상승 지경, 그 나선 상승 비행을 조국 해방 전쟁 참전자들과 관중들은 7월의 밤하늘가에 휘황한 항공 육전병에게 관중들은 열광적인 박수를 보내고 있습니다.
Yeah, these nations, those were war talks, man. You know what I mean? These nations are, they're ready, right? This one came out yesterday as well. We'll watch it quick. This one says, Xi Jinping warns Joe Biden against playing with fire over Taiwan, right? So these war talks are popping off, man, and like right now, America the Great stretched out, man. They're battling MX, they're battling their economy, they're battling homelessness, Salakia. They're battling food issues, and they're battling proxy wars and rumors of war on all fronts. Let's watch this one quick. Matter of fact, let's get this scripture. Joel chapter 3, verse 9, and it reads, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, right? These are the nations. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war, wake up the mighty men, right? Get ready for war, wake up your military. Let all the men of war draw near, let them come up, right? And this spirit of war is gone out, right? Them talks from the leader of North Korea, those are heavy talks, man. Heavy talks. This talk right here, coming out of China, heavy talk. Right? Right? Fighting words, so to speak. Right? Verse 10, beat your plowshares into swords, right? Plowshares. Plowshares are farming instruments. And your pruning hooks into spears, right? Pruning tools, gardening tools. Right? What does this mean? You know, these historically weaker nations who've been known for agriculture and stuff like that, right? Farming and agriculture. They've basically exploited their people, starved their people to finance their military might, right? Let the weak say I'm strong, right? And now they're saying they're strong.
US President Joe Biden held a telephonic conversation with his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping. During the 2-hour-long phone call, Chinese President Xi Jinping warned Biden against playing with fire over Taiwan. In a statement, the Chinese media quoted Xi Jinping and said that the United States should abide by the One China principle, further asserting on how China firmly opposes Taiwan's independence and interference by external forces. However, according to a White House statement, Biden told Xi that the U.S. policy on Taiwan had not changed and that the United States strongly opposes unilateral.
Do you love the planet? Do you do laundry?
Salakia. These ads.
To change the status quo and undermine peace across the Taiwan Strait. Listen in.
They exchange views on Russia's war in Ukraine and the global impacts it is having. And then on Taiwan, President Biden underscored that the United States policy has not changed and that the United States strongly opposes unilateral efforts to change the status quo or undermine peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait. President Biden also raised the need to resolve the cases of American citizens who are wrongly detained or subject to exit bans in China, as well as long-standing concerns about human rights.
Now, the call on Thursday came at a time when U.S. President Joe Biden is finding new ways to work.
Yeah, that's enough on that, right? But we see what's going on, man. Jockeying for position, right? Rumors of war, right? Let's finish off that scripture in Joel. Joel chapter 3, verse 11. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about, right? You heathen nations, you other nations, China, North Korea, Russia, Ethiopia, the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South America, right? They're mobilizing and getting ready, right? Thither, cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord, right? The mighty ones are the angels, right? The Most High dispatches his angels. The angels works on the minds of these nations to rouse them up, right? Verse 12, let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, right? The valley of Jehoshaphat, that's in the Middle East, the Levant, Yahweh Shaphat, the Lord's judgment, right? World War III will culminate, will climax, will take off, will spark off in the Middle East. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about, right? The Most High gonna put the spirit on these heathen nations. Armies are gonna mobilize, right? And war gonna pop off, right? But as for these other nations, let's close out, right? Everyone, all these other nations are looking at America the Great as weak. So all these other nations are you know, just like in the world, when you hear of a crime family being taken down, they always use the words that now there is a vacuum left because this family got taken down, right? So then all these other gangs start, a gang war start about who's going to be the next done, right? Habakkuk 2. Habakkuk chapter 2 verse Habakkuk 2 verse 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increases that which is not his? How long? Right? So these other nations are looking at America the Great, right? Woe means destruction, right? Destruction to him that increases that which is not his. How long? Right? The whole world knows America raped, robbed, murdered, and stole, right? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay, ladeth himself with thick clay. The thick clay is our debt, right? America the Great, him that ladeth himself with thick clay is trillions of dollars in debt, man. Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, right? These other nations, and awake that shall vex thee, right? They're rising up and they're awakened. And thou shalt be for booties unto them, meaning spoil. These other nations gonna spoil you, man. Another precept just came to mind. We're coming back to that. Isaiah 33, verse 1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou wast not spoiled, right? Who's that? America. They spoiled and they were not spoiled. America the Great hasn't been touched. And dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee, right? Dealest treacherously. Didn't Gad say America speaks with a forked tongue, right? They renege on their treaties. They lie. When thou shalt cease to spoil, right? Cease, stop spoiling, stop robbing. Thou shalt be spoiled. You won't be robbed. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee, right? America the Great, Babylon the Great, right? World War III will pop off. Missiles will fly. ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, will fly. Thus saith the scriptures. In the scriptures, they're known as arrows, right? Habakkuk 2 verse 8. Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, right? You robbed many nations. All the remnant, the remaining of these other nations shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. Right? So these are like we open up with the scripture, man. These other nations, these historically weaker nations, they have a hatred for America the Great, Babylon the Great. Right? Isaiah 13 verse 4. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, the noise of the missiles, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together, right? All these other nations with the missiles. The Lord of hosts mustereth the host to the battle, right? So when you look in this word mustereth, the Lord of hosts visit to oversee, right? This is the will of the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yoshai. He's putting the spirit on these nations. Let's close out. Proverbs 21, verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. The king, the ruler, the rulers of these other nations, their heart being mind, the Hebrew word for heart is lab, is in the hand of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yoshai, right? Kim Jong-un what he's saying, the Most High Yahweh Shem Yoshai put the spirit on him to say that. This one here, Xi Jinping, the Most High Yahweh Shem Yoshai put the spirit on him to say these things, right? Proverbs 21 verse 1 once again. The king's heart being mind, is in the hand of the Lord, all caps Yahweh. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will, right? The Most High, whatever the Most High wants these leaders to say and do and act on, they're going to do it. Shalom.